For every breath we take, they are there. They are the silent majority, composing a staggering 75% of all animal life. This is the world of insects, a realm of incredible transformation, surprising strength, and vital purpose. Our journey begins with the dragonfly, often perceived as a fleeting spirit on a sunny day. They are a visual reminder that we are light. Capable of reflecting powerful energy if we choose to embrace it. This slender, non-stinging insect possesses a marvel of natural engineering. Large, multi-layered eyes and two pairs of strong, transparent wings. But it's the eyes that truly stand out.
During those strange days of the lockdown, when the world seemed to pause and the roads were silent, I found myself looking closer at the tiny world around us. With the usual noise gone, nature took center stage, and sometimes the most magnificent sight I could find right in the middle of the empty road was a simple insect. It made me realize that even when our world stops, theirs carries on, full of important work. And that brings us to this little creature I found, this caterpillar. The very definition of transformation, they exemplify the idea that no matter what came before, a creature can hide away and emerge as something entirely new and beautiful. As voracious feeders, most are herbivores, but they are also serious agricultural pests. They can range from just 1 millimeter up to a massive 14 centimeters. Their size is matched by surprisingly varied defenses. While most are harmless, some species spit acid, and others form unique alliances with ants, offering sugary food in exchange for protection from predators. When I first found this little creature, I realized he was one busy fellow. I think his most important job in the world right now is simply eating. Just look at him. He has strong, specialized chewing mouthparts like tiny scissors that help him snip, snip, snip the edges of leaves he comes across. He is, quite frankly, an absolute eating machine, and we know his entire life depends on this constant grazing. You see, this little green worm isn't just eating for fun. He's working to get big and strong very, very quickly. He must consume an enormous amount of food because he's building up the energy reserves needed for his magnificent transformation. I find it utterly fascinating that his mummy butterfly was so clever. To start his life, she laid her tiny little egg right on the only type of leaf he likes to eat, what scientists call the host plant. So, he was born exactly where his dinner table is, which shows us how perfectly tailored nature is.
Where a human eye processes 60 images per second, the dragonfly sees over 200. Nearly 80% of its tiny brain is dedicated to sight, making it one of the world's most effective aerial hunters. In fact, they catch up to 95% of the prey they pursue, whether it be midges, mosquitoes, or even smaller dragonflies. But the hunt begins early. As aquatic larvae, known as nymphs, they are also formidable predators, dwelling in water for up to 5 years before their short, 5-week adult lifespan begins. Their reproduction is equally dramatic. The male secures the female, and she curls her abdomen to meet him, forming the iconic heart or wheel posture.
If you spend any time by the water, you'll often see dragonflies standing perfectly still, perched right on the tip of a reed or a leaf stem. I used to wonder why they didn't just fly all the time, but I soon learned it's a vital part of their strategy. They aren't just resting, that perch is their hunting platform. They launch from it with lightning speed to intercept insects in midair, returning to the same spot to consume their meal. It also helps them control their temperature. On a cool morning, they might choose a warm, sunlit stem to bask and absorb heat. Or, on a blazing hot afternoon, they'll often point their abdomen straight up to the sky, a trick called obelisking, to minimize the sunlight hitting their body and stop them from overheating. That single stem is their perfect vantage point for survival.
Next, we meet the champions of sheer number, the beetles. The order Coleoptera is the largest of all animal orders, making up 40% of all described insects and a quarter of all known animal life forms. Their defining feature is the evolution of their front pair of wings into hardened wing cases, or elytra, which protect the delicate flight wings beneath and grant them an exceptionally hard exoskeleton. Their reproductive rituals are complex. Fireflies, a type of beetle, use bioluminescence, engaging in a complex light-based dialogue to find a mate. Beetles are nature's essential breakdown crew. They feed on plants, fungi, and break down plant and animal debris. While some are serious pests, beneficial species like the ladybird beetle are critical, devouring aphids and other crop-damaging insects. I find their tiny size completely deceptive because they are miniature tanks. I discovered that their bright red or orange shell isn't a fashion statement, it's actually a vital warning signal to birds. When they feel threatened, they can ooze a bitter, foul-smelling fluid from their joints, a process called reflex bleeding. It tells any predator, "Don't eat me, I taste awful." Even more fascinating is that they start their lives not as little round bugs, but as tiny alligator-shaped larvae. We should remember that it's this larval stage that does the bulk of the pest control, patrolling our plants like tiny fierce dragons, eating hundreds of aphids before they even turn into the beautiful dome-shaped beetle we recognize. Finally, we descend into the leaf litter to find the millipede. Their unique characteristic is having two pairs of jointed legs on most body segments. While their name derives from the Latin for 1,000 feet, no known species actually has 1,000. The current record is just 750. These creatures are typically dwellers of the forest floor, preferring humid conditions in leaf litter and dead wood. They are remarkably tough, with some species able to survive submerged underwater for nearly a year. Defense is key in the undergrowth. Some brightly colored species use this prismatic coloring as a strong warning. They are toxic. I often think about the little helpers we never see. Take the millipede, that quiet dweller of the damp leaf litter. I've learned that these slow movers are the recyclers of the soil. They munch through dead, old leaves, breaking them down into rich soil so that new plants can grow. Without these tireless creatures doing their humble work, the forest floor would pile up forever. They teach us that even the slowest among us plays a vital, necessary role. If you are lucky enough to witness a dragonfly catching a housefly, I can tell you it's one of the most astonishing sights in nature. I watched this one take off from its reed in a blur of iridescent color. It didn't seem to accelerate, it just went. The speed is incredible, but what surprised me was the strategy. The dragonfly didn't simply chase the fly, it angled its flight path to intercept the fly's future position, showing a magnificent, almost calculating intelligence. That swift, easy moment of capture is what makes it the true air-to-air missile of the insect world. The actual capture is entirely unexpected. I notice it doesn't use its mouth at all at first. It uses its 6 legs, which are covered in sharp, stiff spines, to suddenly form a little catch basket right in the air. The moment that hapless housefly hits that net, it's trapped and securely held. The dragonfly immediately tucks the entire meal right underneath its chin. This is where I got my insight into its incredible efficiency. The hunt and the capture are instantaneous, but the meal is far from over. With its prey safely secured in its legs, the dragonfly rarely even bothers to land. I watched it chew and consume the fly entirely mid-flight, a silent, powerful dining performance high above the water. It uses its powerful mandibles to quickly dispatch the meal, gaining energy for the next hunt without ever breaking its aerial patrol. It teaches me that in the small world, efficiency and strategy are everything. Every movement must serve a purpose for survival. From the sky-hunting dragonfly to the soil-churning millipede, the world of insects is one of constant movement, specialized roles, and essential ecological balance. They are the tiny engines that keep our planet running. Look closer. The smallest creatures often have the biggest stories to tell.